Hello. So in our last video or podcast, depending on whether you are listening to the audio or whether you're watching this on YouTube, I was chatting on about 2021 and some of the things that we've done and looking back and, things we'd enjoyed doing and all of that kind of stuff. Okay. And I said, don't get frustrated, don't give yourself a hard time if you didn't feel like getting out and joining in with things, or didn't feel like taking pictures and all that kind of thing. That's important. Okay, so I hope you didn't give yourself a hard time. Now what I want you to do is think about 2022. Okay, it's a whole new year. Okay, obviously there's still uncertainty with COVID and stuff like that. So, whereas perhaps, if you went back like 5 years, at this point, end of the year, new year start kind of thing, you say, oh, well, I want to go to Italy or Spain or blah, 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 or, do this, that, and the other. And whereas at the moment, maybe you feel like, you can't make those kind of plans. You can still make a note maybe of places you'd like to go, because, if things become possible, then you can, but I think if you don't ever allow yourself to sort of dream and think about things like that, then it won't ever happen. But yeah, so this is really thinking about the new year ahead of you and what things you might like to do. Now, I think last year, quite often I do this at the start of a new year. I go, oh, get a notebook, make a list of things you want to take pictures of, places you want to go. And I am absolutely terrible at that. I start it, I write things down, then I put the notebook down. And last year I tried so hard with it. I think I'm going to take that notebook, I'm going to keep it in my bag, or I'm going to keep it on my desk. And right now, in this moment, I'm at the shop. I think that notebook might be at home on my desk, but actually I've got no idea where it is. Okay, it is somewhere. It'll be on the desk, it'll be in the drawer, and I probably need to hunt it out. If I remember later, I'll hunt it out and see what I did write down last year and how many of those things I've actually done. Okay, but I know there's still places that are on there that I won't have been to and I won't have done. And yeah, so whether you want to, it depends, I suppose. It depends on, what works for you, whether you like to keep a list, whether you like to keep a little notebook for ideas, or even if you keep them on your phone. Okay, sometimes I will have an idea, and I will go into my phone. I've got like a little notes section, and I'll put it in there so I don't forget. And then I forget I put it in there. And when I go in there to put a note in for something else, I see the other note. So I do see it eventually on my phone. But yeah, so it's up to you as to whether you want to make a list or whether you just want to have a little bit of a think about it, make a bit of a plan. Okay, so it might be that this year you plan to get a new camera. It might be that you plan to get a new lens. Okay, it might be that you've got lenses that you haven't used and you think, oh, actually I spent all that money, I'm going to learn to get the best out of them. Okay, what are you thinking at the start of the year you would like to do in terms of taking pictures this year in 2022? Okay, there are going to be some great, you've got the monthly competition on the Facebook page. There is a challenge, a new challenge for 2022 that replaces last year's Find It challenge. There's a new challenge for this year. There are Zoom masterclasses, there are in-person wanders out and about, all sorts of different stuff. One-to-one lessons will continue as always, because I love those. So yeah, lots of different things. So maybe there are particular things you want to do, places you want to go. Have a little think about that. Think about what might work for you. Okay, what do you want to do in terms of your photography? Okay, your picture taking. Yeah, it might be you want to use your phone more. Okay, it might be like, oh, I'm fed up with carrying my camera around. I'm gonna use my phone more, and I'm going to get better at editing those pictures. It might be that editing is a thing for this year, for 2022 for you. You never know. It might be, because there's lots of things that you can do in terms of that without being chained to the computer for hours and hours, or spending loads of money. So it might be that's something you need to have a little bit of a look at. Okay, so yeah, have a think about it. What do I want to do 2022 in terms of of my photography? Well, sort of last year, I know I did the boat trip. That was a big photography project for me. It meant I could take pictures every day if I wanted to. I kind of took the pressure off at the start while we were settling into the trip and just used my phone for a couple of days. But then the camera was out and ready, and you know, I generally took pictures every day. I liked that. I liked to be able to have a project like that. So, and then when I went away to Manchester, again, I took my camera and I enjoyed exploring a new city, or a city that's new for me. Obviously, it hasn't just appeared. You know what I mean. But yeah, so I quite enjoyed that. So I think actually I fancy some day trips out to some different places that I haven't been to before. Okay. Sometimes it's good also to go to places you have been before, or you've been to a lot. So, and then trying to see it from a different point of view. Because also sometimes if you go to somewhere, say I go somewhere next month, say, and I went there like 3 years ago, I can compare pictures. I can say, oh, actually, oh, look, my photography has changed, or my style has changed, or I'm seeing things differently. Yeah. So sometimes it's quite good to go back to places you've been to before. So it doesn't always have to be new places or places you've not been to, you know, things you haven't done. You can go back, and if you've got favorite places, you know, or somewhere you fancy seeing again because you went somewhere and the weather was awful. Excuse me. So yeah, a little bit of a think about what you might like to do. I think it's good sometimes to have a little bit of an idea. You haven't got to have a rigid plan, because obviously I think with things like COVID, that's taught us we have to be a bit more flexible, but also it has meant that sometimes we can sort of drift a little bit or not do things because we kind of put things off. Whereas I think, you know, it's good to actually say, right, you know, I'm allowed to go out for walks and stuff like that. It's good in the fresh air, and, you know, let's have a day out there, or let's go there, and I'm going to take my camera. Or if the people, your family and friends aren't into taking pictures, and you drive them a little bit nuts, then, you know, that's when my wanders are good, group wanders are good, or even a lesson. Okay, if you're thinking, oh, I've got no one to go out and take pictures with, you could book a lesson. Okay, and then I can bring my camera as well if you want, and we can take pictures together, and we can I can help you with your settings and composition and stuff like that. So have a bit of a think. Okay, I know it's a lot of thinking. You don't have to get too bogged down by it. It might be that you sit there and you go, actually, I've got no idea what I want to do. And that's okay. That's okay. You can use things like the Friday post on the Facebook page as ideas, because you'll see things. People are in different places, you know, they'll post pictures of different places. It might give you ideas. You might think, well, actually, I want to do more sunsets, or I want to do more water. I want to be at the coast more, or more woodland kind of stuff, you know. So just have a bit of a reflect. Don't be too hard on yourself in terms of what you know, having to have a project or having to have a plan. Okay, you can, you know, have a little bit of a think about, you know, just go with your gut instinct, go with what feels right. Okay. And, you know, you can go from there. One of the new things for 2022 is like, I've called it the photography club. That's kind of a temporary thing. I called it, you know, when you're like labeling folders, I label things kind of randomly. And then I think, oh, I'll call it that, because then I'll find it, I'll know what I mean. And then, you know, in a month's time I'm thinking, what did I call that folder? But yeah, so anyway, when I was doing starting the website page bit for this thing, photography, I got right, photography club. Whereas it may well have had its name changed by now, depending on whether I've changed it in between doing this video or not. But yeah, but basically that's a 3-month thing. Okay, so if you join that in sort of the first sort of week of January, you're in there for 3 months, and you know, you get a Zoom call with me. We can talk through ideas, give yourself a bit of a project, or if you want a project, or you just want to work on particular things, like you want to work on close-ups, or you want to work on people, and that's quite a good way of progressing, and, you know, keeping moving with your photography, rather than the camera getting put to one side and getting a little bit unloved and forgotten. Poor camera. Okay, but yeah, so there's lots of things like that. But yeah, if you're stuck and unsure of anything, then you can always just send me a message and say, you know, is it worth me booking a Zoom lesson, or is it worth me doing that, or would that be right? The photography club thing be right for me, or should I just stick with the challenges? I'll always be honest with you. I'm never going to make you sign up for something that I don't think is right for you. So you can trust me 100% on that. But yeah, so have a little bit of a think. Let's have some fun in 2022. Because I mean, the best memories of 2021, I think, when we were out, you know, having fun, we were laughing, and, you know, alpacas were nibbling people's hair, and the cows right in my face, and, you know, we had a bit of a laugh. Okay, and we had a bit of fun. That's something that we always do, you know, when we are together, whether it be on a Zoom thing, a secret challenge Zoom call, or out in person. You know, I'm all about the fun. Okay, I like to have a bit of a laugh, have a bit of fun. And that's, you know, that's what, you know, that's what life should be about. You know, photography should be fun for everybody. And yeah, we always have a bit of a laugh. So a laugh and a chat. Yeah. So yeah, have a little bit of a think about what you might like to do this year. I need to do the same. I need to sit down and think, right, okay, I think I'm going to do some more projects like I did with the boat trip. I'm not saying I'm going to run off on a boat for 3 weeks. That would be nice, but I might need to win the lottery first. But I think I need some little projects. So whether it be a date, some days out, okay, or even the same place on a number of Mondays that's sort of travelable, so I can get a really big series of pictures from one place. That might be quite a good thing for me to do. But I need to have a bit of a think about that too. Yeah, in terms of my photography, not just all work. work. Yeah, so have a little bit of a think. If you want to start a list, or you want to start a new notebook, maybe you've got a new notebook for Christmas, do that. Okay, if that's not your thing, you could put it on your phone, or, you know, maybe I'll put a post in the Facebook group, and you can pop your ideas and thoughts on there if you want to, and then if I remember, I can remind you. I might not remember, because if you post it on there, don't put it somewhere else as well, because otherwise the page gets so busy you'll never find it again. But yeah, if you want a bit of accountability, then I'll try and remember. I can't promise that. I'm not going to nag you, so don't worry. Okay, so let's have an amazing 2022, and, you know, whatever your photography needs in terms of, you know, whether you want encouragement, or you want to learn settings or editing or anything like that, you know where I am. You can always send me a message and we can have a chat. All right, take care. Bye.